The homophobic boyfriend I thought I knew cheated on me with another man. Yeah. Read that again. Sounds like a twisted punchline, right? Like some cruel cosmic joke. Except it wasn't a joke. It was my life. My name's Zoe Carter. I'm 23, I've got a marketing degree I barely use, and I rent a shoebox apartment above a vape shop in East Austin. I've got a cactus named Freddie, a caffeine addiction, and until recently, a boyfriend who made me question my entire reality. His name was Brent Lawson. Built like a linebacker. Obnoxiously confident. He was the kind of guy who drove a lifted black Dodge Ram with a "Make Men Masculine Again" sticker on the back window. The kind of guy who wore camo to brunch and picked fights with waiters over almond milk. He also happened to be, until very recently, my entire world. We met at my friend Riley's birthday party last summer. He came over with a six-pack of IPAs and a cocky grin. Said something dumb like, "You look like trouble," and I laughed. I should have taken it as a warning. But that's the thing about red flags. They always look kinda cute when you're lonely. For a while things were good. Brent could be charming when he wanted to be. He'd kiss my forehead. Bring me iced coffee. Tell me I was different. But he made me feel safe. Even when his words didn't. Even when the jokes got meaner. Louder. More pointed. God, I can't stand all these rainbow flags everywhere. It's a freaking epidemic. I swear if one more dude wears nail polish I'm gonna throw up. So don't get all woke on me. I'm just being honest. He said these things with a smile. Like he was proud of it. Like cruelty was a virtue. And I let it slide. Because I thought I loved him. God, I was stupid. The day everything unraveled started like any other. I was working from home, half listening to a podcast while pretending to update spreadsheets. I took a break, checked my socials, and that's when I saw it. A message. From a random account I didn't recognize. "You don't know me, but you deserve the truth about Brent. Check the link. It's not spam. I swear." My gut clenched. I should have ignored it. I didn't. The link led to a Reddit thread titled, I clicked. And there was a blurry photo. Two men. One of them wearing Brent's exact flannel shirt. His arm was around the other guy's waist. Their mouths were connected. Hands were on faces. One was gripping the other's belt. My breath left my body. I zoomed in. The facial hair. The watch. The goddamn braided leather bracelet I bought him from a flea market. It was him. It was Brent. And suddenly everything made sense. The sudden gym obsession. The mood swings. The guy trips every other weekend. The weird tension when I asked if he was okay. And, of course, the projection. The homophobic rants. The toxic masculinity. Brent wasn't just cruel. He was hiding. But I wasn't about to be another one of his lies. I sat there in silence for a full minute. Then I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was so perfectly, painfully poetic. He hated what he was. And he took it out on the rest of us. So I decided right then and there, I was going to expose him. Not just for me. For every person he ever mocked, belittled, or shamed. This wasn't just about betrayal. This was about justice. And it was going to be loud. After the initial shock wore off, and trust me, it took a full 24 hours, I switched into what I call my war mode. I wasn't going to text him. I wasn't going to cry or scream or throw things. I was going to be strategic. Precise. You see, I'm not just some broken-hearted girl who got cheated on. I'm a marketing strategist with a minor in psychological warfare. I know how to build narratives. And how to destroy them. And Brent, he was a walking contradiction. The alpha guy who preached about manhood, who spat homophobic garbage in every room he walked into, who once told my gay coworker to go back to fairyland. And yet there he was, making out with a guy in a bar bathroom. The hypocrisy. The irony. The opportunity. I pulled out my planner, flipped to a blank page, and wrote across the top in red Sharpie, Operation Rainbow Wrath. Step 1. Gather evidence. I messaged the Reddit user who posted the photo. I told them I was Brent's ex and I needed the full resolution image. They were more than happy to send it. Turns out Brent was a jerk to them 2 years ago in high school. Karma's fan club was getting crowded. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I made a burner account. Handle at Truth Bomb Tuesday. I started digging. Old tweets. Screenshots. Texts. Brent had left a digital trail of toxic masculinity so thick it was practically begging for a takedown. I saved everything. Compiled a Google Drive folder like I was building a legal case. Step 2. Find the perfect moment. I could have gone nuclear right away. But I didn't want shock, I wanted impact. Brent's birthday was in 2 weeks. He was throwing a party. Big invite list. Half his gym crew, his boss, his new business partners. A public image kind of night. He also loved his car. A shiny, custom-painted 2021 Dodge Ram. Jet black. Tinted windows. Chrome wheels. The kind of truck that roars just to let the whole block know Brent's in town. It was his baby. It was also about to become my canvas. Step 3. Call in the queer Avengers. Hey, not the real Avengers but close. My best friend Maya is bisexual, fearless, and has a TikTok following for her DIY spray paint art. She was in before I even finished explaining. Her girlfriend Liv is a theater tech who knows how to rig lighting effects and thank God smoke bombs. You're seriously gonna out him? Maya asked, cautious. I'm not outing someone who's struggling, I said. I'm exposing a homophobe who publicly shamed gay people while secretly sleeping with men. Big difference. She nodded. Hey. Then let's make it iconic. That night we mapped out the plan. I bought non-permanent rainbow car paint, glitter cannons, and a Bluetooth speaker system. I rewired his birthday playlist so that the moment he stepped outside, Born This Way by Lady Gaga would blast at full volume. Step 4. Write the caption. Because you can't have a masterpiece without a message. On the night of his party, after everything unfolded, I would post the photos and screenshots. Every one of his hateful tweets. Every no homo comment. Every real men don't cry post. And then the final image. His precious truck, decked out in pride. Caption. When you scream the loudest against something, it's usually because you're hiding from it. Happy birthday, Brent. #Pride Not Prejudice. Step 5. Don't flinch. People always say revenge is a dish best served cold. I say it's best served in daylight in front of an audience with glitter in the air and Lady Gaga on full blast. By the time Brent's birthday rolled around, I had everything ready, except the butterflies in my stomach. Oh, not regret. Not guilt. Adrenaline. This wasn't just revenge. This was a performance. A statement. A reclamation. And I wasn't doing it alone. Maya and Liv showed up to my place the night before like we were planning a heist. Maya wore black eyeliner, combat boots, and an old silence equals death tee. Liv brought her toolkit and what she called her rainbow armory. Aerosol cans, rainbow lights, timed glitter launchers, even a fog machine. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Liv asked as she laid out the gear. I looked at her, then at the photo again, Brent's smug face caught in mid-kiss. I thought about all the people he'd shamed. The friends he'd mocked. The boys he probably bullied in school. And then I thought about me. The girl who loved to lie. I nodded. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for every person he made feel small. Maya grinned. Then let's make this BTV sparkle. We packed everything into my car like a covert art team. Glitter bombs, check. Spray paint, check. Bluetooth speaker synced and tested? I even bought a rainbow piñata. Why? No clue. It just felt right. The party was happening at Brent's buddy Kyle's house. A massive 2-story monster in Westlake with a view of downtown and more LED lights than taste. I knew Kyle wouldn't bother locking the side gate. He was the kind of guy who thought security meant a ring cam no one checks. We scoped the place around 6:30 p.m. People were already arriving, posing for selfies on the porch, red Solo cups in hand. The backyard lights glowed with generic frat party vibes. Neon beer signs, folding chairs, a grill someone was overcooking on. And parked in the driveway like the cocky centerpiece of the night. Brent's truck. Glossy. Pristine. Unknowing. We waited until 8:47 p.m. exactly. 15 minutes before his big entrance. Maya slipped on gloves. Liv set the fog machine by the driveway bushes. I pulled my hoodie up and took a deep breath. Game time, I whispered. And then it began. We moved fast. Professional. Like street artists on a mission. The first coat of spray. A full rainbow sweep across the truck's hood, with gold flake mist trailing behind. I added heart stencils, stars, and because I'm petty, a pink unicorn humping the words, toxic masculinity. Liv rigged the speakers to the ignition system using a wireless trigger. When Brent turned the key, the system would blast Born This Way at max volume through every window. He tested the sync once, then gave me a thumbs up. Maya set 2 mini glitter cannons under each wheel well timed. Motion triggered. By the time we finished, the truck looked like it had just come back from Coachella. In outer space. And then we vanished. Back into the shadows. Around the corner. Out of sight. We crouched behind the neighbor's hedges and waited. At 9:04 p.m., Brent strutted out like a peacock in ripped jeans and cologne you could smell from orbit. He had no clue what was coming. He turned the key. No matter gay, straight or bi. Lesbian, transgender life. Boom. Glitter erupted. Speakers screamed. Fog hissed. People screamed. Laughed. Filmed. And Brent. He froze. His jaw dropped as he turned to see his precious truck. A rainbow-soaked, sparkle-coated, unicorn-defiled masterpiece, shining under the party lights like a neon protest sign. Maya whispered, and now. Cue the internet. I hit post. Screenshots. Photos. Audio clips. All of it. Public. By the time Brent figured out what was happening, #Brent's big reveal was trending. The internet did what the internet does best. Exploded. Within 10 minutes, my post had over 2,000 likes. Within an hour, it was on TikTok, Twitter, Threads, and every group chat from here to Florida. The comments rolled in like tidal waves. Not Brent the bathroom bandit. This is what internalized homophobia looks like in HD. She painted his truck? Icon. Dude's been screaming alpha while living a double life. Zoe, drop your skincare routine and revenge playlist please. Maya texted me a screenshot of a reaction video already climbing on TikTok. Some girl in a rainbow hoodie was sipping wine and reading my caption like it was Shakespeare. Zoe babe, Maya messaged, you're not just viral, you're legend. And Brent? He was imploding. He tried to yell over the music but no one was listening. Some people laughed. Others stared in stunned silence. A couple even clapped. The camera flashes came next, click, 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 capturing him in all his hypocritical rainbow-blasted glory. His own friends didn't know where to look. I heard one guy mutter, I told y'all he was weird about that stuff. Another said, yo, his ex just turned his truck into a damn float. That's savage. Brent stumbled around like a drunk frat boy who just walked into the wrong decade. He yanked the Bluetooth speaker out, ripped a glitter cannon off the wheel, and screamed something about fake news and woke assassins. I'm pretty sure half of that sentence came from a Joe Rogan episode. He finally spotted Kyle, his best bro, host of the party, and hissed, you're letting them do this to me? Kyle, bless his lukewarm heart, shrugged. Bro, I thought it was like a gender reveal or something. You could see Brent crack. Right there in real time. The cool tough guy mask shattered like glass. He turned and saw 3 phones recording. One girl live streaming. And then he ran. Straight back into the house. I sat back on the sidewalk, hoodie still on, sipping my iced matcha like a director watching her scene play out perfectly. I wasn't even nervous anymore. I felt clear, like I had finally cleaned something off my skin that had been festering for too long. Later that night, my phone buzzed nonstop. Some people were outraged. You outed someone, they cried. But most understood. This wasn't about someone questioning their sexuality. This was about a man who had weaponized hatred against others to mask his own fears. A man who tore down queer people in public and hid his truth in shadows. A man who got caught. And who finally faced the mirror. By the next morning, BuzzFeed ran a piece. She painted his truck with pride. Woman exposes homophobic boyfriend's secret life. A week later, Brent lost a sponsorship deal from his local gym chain. And I got a DM from Queer Eye's social media team with a single word. Obsessed. 3 days passed before he reached out. I ignored the first text. Brent, you made your point. Can we talk? I ignored the second. Brent, this is harassment. I could sue. The third came with a voice message. Zoe, please. Just one conversation. No drama. Just talk. Please. I sat with it for a while. A part of me wanted to block him and let him rot in the echo chamber of his consequences. But another part, the part that had spent a year being gaslit, minimized, made to feel small, wanted to look him in the eye and remind him who he was dealing with. I texted back. Me 1 coffee. 1 hour. Public place. We met at a corner cafe in South Lamar, the kind with overpriced espresso and potted succulents on every table. He showed up in a plain hoodie, sunglasses, and the defeated look of a man who'd spent 3 nights deleting comments and trying to convince the internet he was just experimenting. I didn't say hello. He sat down, took off his glasses, and looked at me with bloodshot eyes. "Why'd you do it?" he asked softly. I sipped my drink. "You really want to start with that question?" "I didn't deserve this," he muttered. "You ruined me." That made me laugh. Not like a cute giggle. The kind of laugh that comes from deep in your chest when someone tries to rewrite your trauma into their pity story. "Brent," I said, "you ruined yourself." I just held up the mirror. His jaw tightened. "You outed me. That's not okay." "No," I said, "I exposed you for being a bigot who made life hell for people like the guy you kissed in a bar bathroom. The same guy you would have mocked in front of your gym buddies. You weren't living in silence, Brent. You were living in violence." He didn't respond. I leaned in. "You don't get to hide behind privacy when you built your identity on hatred. You weren't a closeted man scared to come out. You were a cruel man trying to bury others under your shame." He blinked rapidly. His mouth opened, closed, then just hung there like he had words but none brave enough to leave. "I wasn't trying to hurt anyone," he whispered. I stared at him. "You did anyway." Silence fell between us. I reached into my bag and pulled out the last thing I had to give him, a letter. Not for Brent, really. For the version of him I once thought was real. "You're going to read this later," I said, sliding it across the table. "Not to feel sorry for yourself, but to understand what you cost people. What you cost me." He stared at the envelope like it might bite. Then for the first time in months I stood up. Not broken. Not bitter. Free. As I walked away I didn't feel revenge. I felt release. Because this story, it was no longer about him. It was about me. Rebuilding. Reclaiming. Rising. A month passed. And somewhere between the glitter bombs and the heartbreak I became something I never expected. Whole. The internet never really moved on, not entirely. Memes still popped up on Instagram. A rainbow-drenched truck with captions like, "Drive with pride, bro," and "Toxic masculinity got towed." People DM'd me. Strangers. Survivors. Members of the LGBTQ+ community who had once loved someone like Brent. Or been someone like Brent. Some angry. Some grateful. Most just. See. I started posting. Not revenge. Recovery. I shared my story. Not for the drama but for the truth. About how manipulation doesn't always look like screaming. Sometimes it wears cologne and tells you you're too emotional. My DMs overflowed. Women thanking me. Men apologizing. Non-binary teens saying they finally felt like someone said what they couldn't. I realized. The point of all this wasn't just to burn someone down. It was to build something better. I created a page called it Unmask the Noise, part blog, part resource, part safe space. I wrote about emotional abuse, queer identity, double lives, internalized shame, empowerment, growth. My audience grew fast. Not because I was perfect, but because I was honest. And in between it all I healed. I stopped rereading old texts. I stopped checking Brent's socials. I even gave away the red Sharpie I'd used for Operation Rainbow Wrath. I started seeing someone new. Not rushing, just coffee dates and slow laughs. Someone kind. Someone open. Someone who didn't flinch at the word fluidity. One evening, while watching the sunset from my tiny balcony, Maya turned to me and asked, "Would you do it again?" I thought for a long moment. "No," I said. "Not like that. I needed it at the time. But I don't need fire to feel powerful anymore." She smiled. Still, it was epic. I smirked. It was necessary. We clinked our glasses. And for the first time in a long time I didn't feel like a victim or a warrior. I just felt like me. Zoe Carter. Unapologetic. Unbroken. Reclaimed.